Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my Buster Blader deck profile. Now, it's been a little while since I actually visited this deck. I actually really did some interesting new techs in this deck. Like, it really makes this deck really interesting. But without further ado, let's get straight on into this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this. So I'm really noticing that you guys are liking when I do these OG monster archetypes. Like, those are the ones that get the most views on my channel, especially when I do something really weird with the deck that's like, wow, that's works. So let's do something interesting today. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Buster Blader, the original, the awesome Buster Blader. This card's really interesting. It came about all the way back in Pharaoh's Servant, I believe it was, which is like the third or fourth pack that was ever released in the TCG. I think it was the 4th pack. No, it was the 4th. But this card's effect is that this card gains 500 attack for each dragon monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. So it can get pretty big. It was originally made to take on like Blue Eyes White Dragon, especially with Dark Paladin and stuff like that, with Dark Magician. But that's, you know, the big monster of the deck. So we're playing 3 copies of it. I wish I had 3 secrets to this. Then I played 1 copy of Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman. We basically play this as an extra name. So we can basically play 4 Buster Bladers. And then plus it contains Destruction Swordsman in the name, which is kind of the archetype. This card's name becomes Buster Blader while on the field or in the graveyard. And if a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or by card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of those monsters and equip it to this card. Once per turn, you can send 1 monster you control that is equipped to this card to the grave. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same type as that monster sent to the grave. And we play stuff that makes them all like a particular type, so it can really get nasty for your opponent with this 1 card. Then we play 3 copies of Buster Whelp, the Destruction Swordsman. Or Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. This card's a light tuner monster, so you can synchro summon with it. Pretty good card. When this card is normal summon, you can add a Destruction Swordsman card from your deck to your hand. And then you can add the additional ability that you can either tribute this card to special summon 1 Buster Blader from your hand or grave, or you can, if this card is in your grave, you control a Buster Blader, you can discard 1 Destruction Swordsman card, and then you can special summon this card, which is pretty cool. Then we play 3 copies of the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, which is, honestly, these 2 are the only 2 that you really want to play. Some people play the Wizard Sword, some people play the Robo Sword. I just like these 2. To be honest, I tried to put the other ones in here, and I just didn't really care for them that much. So, the Destruction Sword is also a tuner monster, which is pretty neat. And if it is in the graveyard, you can actually equip it to a Buster Blader monster, and then it makes it so your opponent can't special summon from the extra deck, period. So it can really hurt your opponent really easily, and plus it's a dark tuner monster, so if you want to do some really wacky stuff and throw in like a Beals or a Void Ogre or something in this deck, you can. Then I'm playing a Lair of Darkness engine in this deck in the form of Darkest Diablos. I'm only playing 2 Darkest Diablos because I feel like any more than that kind of clogs. So I'm just playing 2 copies of that. If you guys don't know what that does, if it's in your hand and you tribute a monster you control, you can special summon it from your hand or grave. And then it has the added ability, if a dark monster, you can tribute 1 dark monster. Your opponent places 1 random card from either the top or either on the top or the bottom of their deck. Which is really, really, really cool. I love this card. I really want to throw it in just about every deck. I don't know why more people aren't playing this. I'm actually thinking about buying a 2nd box of these just so I can play around with more Darkest Diablos Lair of Darkness stuff. I think it's really cool. So then we have to play 3 copies of Arima. It's kind of like our field spell searcher. So you want to play 3 copies of Arima. Then we play 3 copies of Lith, Lady of Lament. If this card is normal summoned, its attack becomes 1,000. Then you contribute 1 dark monster to reveal 3 traps your opponent, or 3 traps in your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one of them, and you get to add it or get to set it immediately to your field, which is pretty cool. The main cards that you're gonna go after is these 2 is going to be the Destruction Sword Memories and Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. These are the main cards in the deck, and that's why we play the Lair of Darkness engine in here, is because you want to get to those as quickly as possible. And with playing 6 of those and then Lith, it's basically like you're playing 6 copies of the card, which is really cool. Plus, you contribute your opponent's monsters if you have Lair of Darkness on the field, which is really cool. So that's why we play that. Then I play a Tour Guide, because Tour Guide's Tour Guide. You get to special summon it, and it makes monsters. So that's why I play a Tour Guide. Then I play 1 copy of Glow Up Bulb. Glow Up Bulb is just pretty good in the deck. You want to play that 1 Glow Up Bulb because you can make your Buster Dragon with it. So that's why we play the 1 Glow Up Bulb. Plus, you know, there's the degenerate combos of making, what's it called? Needle Fiber soon. I really think that they're going to end up banning Glow Up Bulb again. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. So that's why we're playing 1 copy of Glow Up Bulb, because you can make like so many synchro plays with it, and so it's really good. So that's why we play 1 copy of Glow Up Bulb, and you can link with it too. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. We don't play that many spells, but since it's Lair of Darkness, we play a lot of traps, like a lot of traps. So we play 1 copy of Monster Reborn. You kind of need the Monster Reborn in this deck because it can bring back your Buster Bladers and stuff like that you need. 1 copy of Destruction Swordsman Fusion. You really only need 1 copy of this because your Destruction Sword Memories lets you fusion summon by banishing it. So, like, why not just play that instead of this? Then we play 2 copies of Cards of Consonance. I play Cards of Consonance in here because you can discard your unneeded Light Tuner Dragons or your Tuner Dragons, which is your Buster Whelp and your Destruction Swordsman cards. And it lets you draw 2 cards, so it's kind of like Pot of Greed. That's why I only play 2 of it, because we only have 6 targets for this. And then for the final 3 spells, I play 3 copies of Lair. Lair of Darkness is really good. It makes all monsters on the field dark. And then on top of that, you contribute monsters your opponent controls for card effects, which is really nice. And then the turn player that tributed cards, like if I tribute cards on your turn, you get tokens equal to the amount of times monsters were tributed on your turn. It doesn't have to be my monsters, doesn't have to be your monsters, just has to be monsters, period. So that's pretty cool. I love Lair of Darkness. I think it's one of the best field spells in the game. I think it's really cool. I would love to see more decks be able to utilize this, but for now, we're playing 3 copies of it in this particular deck. So it's Buster Blader, Lair of Darkness. So pretty cool. Or the Buster Blader's journey through the Lair of Darkness, whatever you want to say. So then we play, I'm so nerdy. Then we play 1 copy of Destruction Swordsman Flash, or Destruction Sword Flash. I only think 1 copy of this is really necessary. If you control a fusion monster that lists Buster Blader as a material, banish all monsters your opponent controls, and when a card or effect is activated, while that targets a Buster Blader monster and this card's in your grave, you can banish this from your grave and then basically negate it, which is really cool. You can negate and destroy the effect. I really like this card. Then we play 3 copies of Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. You send a Destruction Sword and a Buster Blader from your deck to the grave, and then you get to special summon Buster Dragon. Not ABC Buster Dragon, but Buster Dragon. And then after you do, you special summon from your extra deck, but you have to destroy it during the next end phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard, and this turn Destruction Swordsman cards, or Destruction Sword cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, which is pretty cool. Then the best trap in the entire deck is Destruction Sword Memories. Memories is really good because you can discard a Destruction Sword card to special summon a Buster Blader monster from your deck. I really like this card for that reason. You can banish it from your grave to also... you can banish from your grave to fusion summon 1 Buster Blader, the Dragon Destruction Swordsman, from your extra deck by just banishing this and the list of materials from your grave. And you're always going to have those materials in grave to do what you need to do. So that's why I play the 1 copy of the Destruction Swordman Memories. Then I play 2 copies of Lost Winds. This kind of is like a position that you can throw anything in that you want. You can play Impermanence in this position. I went for more of a budget play and played Lost Winds. Plus, this sets itself, and it can kind of like help you to OTK your opponent if you have the Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman on field, and you're reducing attacks by half, and you swing into your opponent with a really big Buster Blader, it can OTK them. But if you want to play Impermanence and you have Impermanence, play 2 in this position. I don't have them, so I'm playing 2 Lost Winds. But this card's really good in its own right because you can set it and then activate it, negate a monster effect that's been special summoned, and then reduce its attack by 0, and then you get to reset this, which is pretty cool. Then I play 2 copies of Back to the Front. You do need Back to the Front in this deck because it can special summon out your Buster Dragon from grave if it's been properly synchro summoned. Or you can special summon out one of your Link monsters to go into more Link plays, or anything that you really need to do in this deck. Then I play 2 copies of DNA Surgery. This copy turns all of your opponent's monsters into any attribute, or all monsters on the field into any attribute or type you want. So you turn everything into dragons, and you watch your opponent cry tears of sadness. So you just make them all dragons, and then you swing at them with Buster Blader, and you win. So, I mean, that's the big thing that you do. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. The only card that's not searchable by Lith, by the way, is actually DNA Surgery. So everything else is searchable. And like I said, if you want to play something besides the Lost Winds, go for it. If you want to play something besides Back to the Front, do it. But I like those 2 for this particular deck. They work pretty well for this deck, so that's why I play them. Then for the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman. This card's pretty darn good. You must special summon this card. It must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. And this card can't attack directly. This card gains 1,000 attack for each dragon type monster your opponent controls or in their grave, which is pretty cool. If you go up against a dragon deck with this deck, it is crazy. It is crazy funny. And then change all dragon monsters your opponent controls to defense. Also, dragon monsters' effects in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects, and if it attacks defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. So, OTK Maker, really, really cool. I love this card. Then we play 1 copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. You can go into this by synchroing up into it from Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. I kind of just threw it in here because I figured it was pretty cool to play with Archfiend Abyss, and you can go up into it. Then I play 1 Archfiend Abyss. This card can target a card on the field and negate it, which is pretty cool. And then if it inflicts damage to your opponent, you can target 1 tuner monster in your grave and special summon it in defense position. So you can special summon back certain cards that you need to go into the Bane if you want to. I like Bane in this deck. I think it's interesting that you can go up into it. But then we play 2 copies of Buster Dragon, so we can special summon it off of certain effects and synchro into it. It makes all monsters on the field dragons. And then once per turn, if you do not control a Buster Blader monster, you can target a Buster Blader in your graveyard and special summon it. Then once per turn, you can target 1 Buster Blader you control and equip it with the Destruction Swordsman card in your grave. That's the other thing that I was talking about earlier, about having this and then Buster Blader, and then having the Destruction Sword, Dragon Buster Destruction Sword in the grave. You use this and you equip it to it, and then your opponent can special summon from extra deck. So that's the big play. So then we play 1 Hope Harboring Dragon Titanic Galaxy. You can go into this pretty easily by just overlaying one of your Buster Dragons that's going to die anyways. And, you know, it's easy to do that. So we play 1 Hope Harboring. Then I play 1 number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk because you can make it with 2 Buster Bladers. It's really, really, really easy. You can also make number 38 with Darkest Diablos, and that's really easy too. Then we play the Galaxy Tomahawk. You just make with 2 Buster Bladers, like I said, and then you overlay, or you link them away, link the tokens away, and make whatever you want. If this gets banned, drop this, because I'm taking this before the ban list. Drop this for Red Eyes Flare Metal if this gets banned, so don't worry about that. If it does, then we play 1 copy of the Phantom Knights of Breaksword. We play this for the tour guide. If you want to make it, you can put any rank 3 in this position that you decide. I like Breaksword for this position, so I put Breaksword. Then I play a Borreload and a Boral Sword just for, you know, good rank 4s that I like. I am totally a fanboy for these 2. I love them with an absolute passion. Summon Sorceress. If you don't have Summon Sorceress, which, I mean, if you're in the EU or something like that and you can't get Summon Sorceress or it's not legal over there, play Nightmare Unicorn. That card's a really good card that you can play in that position too. That's a good link 3 for spot removal. If you're in the TCG and you can get a hold of Summon Sorceress, then play Summon Sorceress because it can open up a lot of plays for you. Then for the Galaxy Tomahawk tokens, I play Proxy Dragon into Link Rebos. For the tokens of the, or not the tokens, the, excuse me, for the Glow Up Bulb and the Destruction Sword cards, drop one of these actually and play a Link Spider. Excuse me, not that, Link Spider. So you can make the tokens for Galaxy Tomahawk, because Galaxy Tomahawk's tokens are actually level 6, so you do this, but the Link Rebo is needed for the Destruction Swordsman cards, because all of these are level 1, and you want to be able to make Link Rebo, because Link Rebo is just crazy. But that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed taking this deck profile. This deck is super fun. This deck is super, super fun. It OTKs really easily. It's pretty consistent with Lair of Darkness in it. Like, this deck really wasn't consistent without Lair of Darkness, and then all of a sudden I threw that in there, and it started playing just right. So, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think down in the comments down there. Don't forget to hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad. And tell me what you think about this deck. Like I said, I've been playing Buster Blader a long, long time. It's been a little while since I actually touched this deck, but I really enjoy playing it because it's part of Dark Paladin, and I absolutely love Dark Paladin. I wish they would make a way that you can make Dark Paladin a little easier in here, but there's not. So, for now, we play it like this. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.